it's Renee with Delaney Jane Cards. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a scene card. I picked up this ScrapBerry's Summer Joy set and the new Rabbit Hole Designs set, a Trinity stamp set, and I used this Miss Ink Sunburst Stencil and the Honeybee Stamps Outdoor Scene Builders. The Rabbit Hole Designs set was called Love You More, and the Trinity stamp set is called Latte Love, and I did flash everything across the screen. Now, before I started, I stamped out these images onto some Gina K Designs masking magic paper, and I mixed these two stamp sets, the image sets, because the drawings so similar. The illustration style is so similar. If I just laid the stamps out on the table, you would not know what was what unless you felt the stamps. They do feel different. When I'm stamping clear stamps, sometimes, well, here I was showing that the Thanks set feels different than the rabbit does. Sometimes I have trouble seeing where the lines are, so what I did there was just laid the stamp exactly onto the mask, and then I could see where the lines were when I set it down so that I could put it in the right place. And then sometimes clear stamps are different depth, so I first stamped the bunny and then the Thanks. I wasn't sure that they would stamp evenly, but they did. They were fine. But the rabbit and the houses that go with the rabbit are very different material. I was looking at the package trying to see what they were made of. They're really soft, and somebody will put in the comments exactly what that material is, I'm sure. But the Trinity stamps, they are like thicker and less bendable, I guess. Less pliable maybe is the right word. But these stamp really nice. I liked the way that they stamped. So this card is not a design team project. It's not a hop video. This is a real thank you card that I made for somebody because, well, I started this YouTube thing at the end of July. Okay, I just decided to do it based on watching a live, and somebody had offered this blog hop for new video makers, new content creators, for bloggers, it was basically like a video or like blog hop 101. It was, I would say 50% of the people that were in this video blog hop, it was like their first anything. So I haven't been doing this very long, and I had a old camera tripod that we had lost, the like screw mount thing that you put the camera on. We lost it, so we just had this not usable video camera tripod thing hanging out at our house, and I had a webcam. And I needed to put I needed a way to film videos because I really wanted to do this YouTube thing. So I got out some wire and I wired this camera tripod thing that's missing the pieces to my center light, my overhead light in my craft room. And then I used painter's tape to adhere the webcam to the tripod. But webcams are not made to like sit flat, or I didn't know before I got this webcam, but I had to use pieces of foam, like not mounting foam, like the play fun foam. I had to fold it up and like make a wedge so that it would keep the thing flat. And so I did that, and then I painter's taped it all together. So I had this crazy painter's taped webcam deal hanging from my ceiling, and I was making videos. which it is what it is. Sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. Well, I have met some really good people through this YouTube thing. And one of them has become a really, really good friend. Well, several, but we're going to talk about this one that this card is for. And she had told me a few months ago that she has this camera and she's not using it, and she would probably sell it to me and we would talk about a price later. And I was like, okay, because I knew that the webcam that was hanging or taped to the camera tripod mounted thing from the center of my ceiling by the wires was probably not a permanent solution to videotaping cards. So I figured in the future I would buy this from her. Well, right before Christmas time, she had purchased some stamps and dies, and she I think she purchased the whole collection. I think sometimes it's cheaper to do that. I don't really know. But she had one stamp set in that group that she had picked that I was like, oh, that would be probably the only one that I would pick because our styles are so very different. But this stamp set was something that I really liked. Anyway, she decided to send it to me. So I was like, are you kidding? That's super nice. People don't do nice things like that. Usually I do the nice things for the people because, well, I like to do the nice things for the people. So she sends me that stamp set with this weird cryptic kind of message. If it's really cold by you, make sure you get that out of the mailbox right away because you don't want to let that sit in the cold. And I was like, huh? Stamps ship in the cold all the time. Okay, I'll get it right away. I'll watch for it to be delivered, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I go to get the mail, and the mail carrier hands me this giant box. It is so giant. I was like, what in God's green earth could she have sent me in this giant box? It's supposed to be a stamp and a die. That could fit in a little envelope. What could be in this giant box? It was so big. Even the mail carrier is like, what did you get? And I said, I have no idea. So I got home with this giant box, and I'm coming in the house, and I have my 4-year-old with me because I just got him from school or from the bus stop, and all of his stuff and backpack, and I got the regular mail, and I got this giant box, and my husband is like, what did you order? And I was like, I didn't order nothing. I ordered nothing. This giant box just showed up in the thing, and I have no idea what's in it. So I opened the box. I am telling you that I apparently wear my emotions on my sleeve because I was crying. Within a couple of minutes of opening this box, I was all out bawling like a baby because she sent me the camera. The camera that she was going to send me or sell me, she sent it to me with a note that said, Merry Christmas. You don't owe me anything. I know that you'll use this, and I appreciate being your friend. And I was just like, what? Who does that? I am still very shocked over this. So she sends me this camera that I filmed this video on. And she has just been an amazing friend. I will link her channel below. It is Rise and Procrastinate, and her name is Amanda. So if you go there from here, I would love it if you would let her know that you know how kind she is. I know she probably doesn't want the world to know how kind she is, but she is an amazingly wonderful friend, and I am so thankful to have met her. YouTube is online, and they say that I don't know if they say it anymore, but it used to be those are not your real friends because they're online. Well, I am here to tell you that that is not the case. I have met some of the most amazing people that are in my life through the internet, through Facebook, through YouTube. I mean, I have made some amazing friendships with people that are all over the world. And this is just one example here. So on top of her sending me this camera with all the stuff that goes with it, another YouTuber here on another content creator sent me the mount that my camera is hanging from currently. I mean, there are some very kind people out there. If you are looking for a community that has your back, uh, all you have to do is just look a little bit. You'll find one. You'll find one where you fit in. There is no reason for you to think that you don't fit in somewhere. And this card, it is a scene card. It is a full Copic colored card. It is a got my stencils out kind of card. I used the masking. I did all the things kind of card because of where it's going. I really do enjoy making cards, and I enjoy making quality cards. But when I'm making a card, especially to send to someone because I want to send a card, I really try to make sure I put my all into it. And I don't have anything to offer her. I can't return the favor. I can't be like, well, you sent me this beautiful gift and here is another amazing gift that I have for you. I am in no position for that. However, I can make cards. So I made the best card I could possibly think of for her. And I really, really hope that she loves it. She lives where there are mountains. So you see that I put some mountains in the background. And I just thought that this this image with the bunny and the camera and his little bunny friend with the flash, I just thought it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect for her. So I did a bunch of Copic coloring. I know I talked over everything that was in this video up till this point, and I'm sorry. There was, you've probably seen flash across your screen, the Beth blend. Now that's another friend that I have met on the internet, Beth. She's an amazing friend. And her favorite color combination is the R83 and R85. So now when I use that, I think of it as the Beth blend because she has my back. There's just so much to be had with the internet. It is not always a scary place. I have anxiety disorder and I struggle in crowds and meeting new people in person. So the internet is a great place for somebody like me. The people that I have met and have gotten to know, I would have no problem meeting in person. I'll tell you a little story. Not that I haven't been talking this whole time, but a few years back, my family and I drove from Wisconsin, where we live, to Ohio to meet somebody I didn't know. I had only known her online. I mean, we had known each other online for several years. We had been in some online groups together, and we were pregnant at the same time with our now 4-year-olds. They were just a few months old, and her daughter was being dedicated at her church, and my family and I decided that this was a perfect opportunity to go meet her. And it was something out of the movies. You don't really see that too often. It was a 9-hour car trip with 3 kids. Cooper was a baby, but he was 3 months old, 3 or 4 months old. And then the older boys were much, much older. One was in high school, one was in junior high. But still, it was a long car trip, and it was amazing to give my friend a hug. And if you've known somebody for several years and you get the opportunity to hug them, there is something to be said about that. And even though I have anxiety disorder and I struggle with meeting people in person in crowds and things like that, I had no problem being her friend in person because we had known each other for so long and had gotten to know each other so well. So if you are someone like me that struggles in a situation like that, maybe just making friendships online and then working from there might help you. Just my experience. So back to my coloring here. I did keep my color palette pretty tight. Anywhere you see the red or pink combo is the Beth blend. I did use all of my colors in 2 or 3 spots so that your eye bounces around. The only color I didn't really bounce around with was the khaki color. I used to color the bunny, the little bunny with the flash. Otherwise, everything else was used in more than one place. I do love this BG90 combo. I think it looks like weathered copper to me, kind of like what Lady Liberty looks like right now. And I can see myself using it for lots of stuff, but especially things that would have been copper and are now like not copper anymore. They're weathered. I did really love that one. I also really enjoyed adding the spots to the bunny. He wasn't drawn with spots, and normally I would probably not give him spots, but when I seen him in the package all colored up the way he was, I thought he could just have so much more character if I added some cute spots. So he's completely colored with some warm grays. There's just darker warm grays on his spots and lighter warm grays on the spots that he's white. And I did blend out the edges so there's no harsh lines on those spots too. And then, like I said, I did a lot of scene coloring here. I added some tufts of grass, and there are stenciled clouds, and I did use that sunburst stencil to add just a little bit of sun peeking from the mountain, kind of like how kids draw a sun, where it's from the corner of the page. Mine's just peeking out of the mountain. I also used Scotch repositionable tape to do some of my masking. I've been really loving that lately, and I know I used the Gina K Masking Magic for all my images, but when I did my straight lines for the background scene, I used the tape. It works fine. It doesn't peel my paper up, and I've been really liking it in my die cut machine too. And I die cut quite a few things. I was finding that my machine was pushing the purple tape a little too hard, and it would actually emboss into my cardstock or tear my paper, and that's not something that I'm really fond of. So I looked for another solution, and so far I'm really liking this Scotch tape. I've probably been using the Scotch repositionable tape for a little over a month, and so that means I've probably die cut, I don't know, 200 or 300 things using it, and I'm really enjoying it. So just a little tip for me is I think the Scotch repositionable tape is kind of fantastic. So when I did color this little car in the background, you'll see that that I made sure that the colors that were behind the car are peeking through the windows. When I first colored it, I had kind of gone around it, and then I was like, well, you would see the house color and the grass color through it if you were really looking at the car. I mean, it's so far in the back, and it's probably going really fast because cars on the road probably go pretty fast. So you probably wouldn't really see that, but I made sure that I did that. Now, when I got to the camera, I needed some inspiration, so I used Google. I Googled what box cameras look like and what antique cameras look like, and I found one that looked sort of similar to what I was coloring. And I got my color palette from there, and I wanted to make sure that this black part looked like it was folded, so I did use streaky lines when I colored it, and I think I achieved that look. And then for all of the hardware on the camera, I used my gold. I wanted it to look like gold or bronze, and the camera did not come to life until I added the wooden parts of this camera, and it just like came to life and is just a beautiful camera. I could see this sitting on a shelf somewhere in a library or something, like in a museum. It's so beautiful. And then I used the yellow for the windows. I know it's probably daytime and they don't need all the lights on, but maybe the sun is shining on their windows, and so there's yellow. And then I added a little bit of black glaze pen to the center of the camera shutter, and a little white highlight on the flash there. So that is my card. I will leave everything linked below for where to go tell my friend that she is amazing. And I really hope that you enjoyed watching me color this card and talk about the friendships I've made online. Here are some close-up shots of my card, and I appreciate you stopping by. As always, give cards generously. Bye!